Hey Mama, I'm so glad you're here. It is Valentine's Day this week. We're into that week of it's cold outside. We just got a big dumping of snow, which is actually kind of nice because now we can actually go outside and have something to do outside. But I always like having a theme. I like having something to focus on, and Valentine's Day is about love. And it's become so commercialized, just like every other holiday that we have nowadays. The stores just want you to spend more and more money. But the root of it, the idea of love and sharing your love with the people that you love, is, I think, really profound. That we have something that where we can focus this, because love is so important. And I spoke about this last week when I talked about growing that love seed in your home. And I talk about this all the time because love is the foundation for our relationships, a relationship with your husband, the relationship with your children, the relationship with your other family members. And I mean, really the relationship that you have with others. Obviously, you don't say, I love you to your friends or coworkers, but there's a certain amount of respect or admiration that you may have for them. And that's rooted in love. It's rooted in that sense of love and care that you have for that person. And we need that in our homes as well. And Valentine's Day is such a neat time to really, focus in on that. And it doesn't have to be about gifts and about spending money. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that when we're young, when you're a teenager and a young adult thinking about having a boyfriend and getting married and having that significant other that you can, shower them in love, or you want to be showered in love. But as a mom, I find that I want to show my children love, and I want to show it to them in different ways. And so at Valentine's Day, I have been spending time trying to show them love in different ways. So talking about the love languages, and loving on my children in the way that they feel loved, and loving my husband in the way that he feels loved. And it's really, it's putting on that love that God has given us. It's wearing it. It's praying for love. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. That's what I'm getting into today, is praying for love and asking for that love so that we can then share it. It's not just for ourselves, it's so we can share it. And if you have not ordered Ann Voskamp's book, it was just released yesterday, Loved to Life. It is a 40-day pilgrimage, and it's going through Jesus, his life. And I think she wrote it with the idea of doing it in the season of Lent leading up to Easter. Really, I mean, you could do it any time of the year, but it's such a beautiful book. I have been reading the manuscript of it, and it's amazing. It's profound, it's deep. It reminds us of what Jesus did and the love that he has for us. So if you have not picked up a copy of it, you can go and grab it on Amazon. The link for that will be in the show notes. Definitely, if you're thinking on the topic of love right now, continue on that love journey as we head towards Easter. I know it's a ways away, but it's Lent and getting into that season of focusing on the sacrifice and the love that Jesus has for us. So definitely grab a copy of that book. But in the meantime, we are going to talk about love today and seeking God's love, asking for him to put it on us, so that we can then share it with those that we love. So grab that cup of tea, Mama, get the volume turned up, and let's get into this. Hey Mama, I know you're busy. You're living in piles of laundry, you don't know what you're making for your next meal, and there's a really annoying kid song stuck in your head. And through all of this, you're wondering how you're going to build a joyful Christian home. How do I know all of this? Because that was me. Hi, I'm Alyssa, teacher turned stay-at-home boy mom, blogger, podcaster, and Jesus lover. And I know that while this motherhood journey is beautiful, it's also messy. And the best way to enjoy it is to invite God into our chaos and let him be the rest that we so desperately need. So together, let's strengthen your relationship with God. Let's build a Christian home that is built on biblical truths and enjoy this motherhood journey. You got this, Mama. Praying for love. Love it's actually a really complex idea when you think about it. And when you're trying to explain it to young children, it can be hard because we use the word love for so many things. We say that we love chocolate, we love playing outside, we love our toys, but then we also say that we love our mom and our dad and we love God. And it's not the same kind of love. And so trying to explain it to little kids can be hard. I've found that when my children, in that 2-year old age, when you're trying to explain love to them and all the people that love them and showing love to other people, it's difficult. And so you keep it pretty simple for your little ones. But as they get older, you start to talk a little bit more about love in the different ways that we love people and how we show that love for different people. And we love things differently. We maybe would use a different word for things. We say, I like my toys, I enjoy my toys, whereas I love my parents, my family members. And the Bible says in Colossians 3:14 that we are supposed to put love on above everything else. It says, above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And it's kind of interesting when you think about that, because love often is not the first thing that you pray for. If you think about the prayers that you have had lately, you may not have asked God for love. I know that's not something that I pray first of all. It's not the first thing on my mind. Typically, it's like, dear Lord, I need some patience right now. Or, oh my goodness, I need some self-control. Love is not always the first thing, and yet it is the first thing in the Bible. It is the only thing that matters. Jesus laid down his life because he loves us. And we are supposed to be asking for that love and seeking that love all the time. And not just for ourselves, but for our children. And so when we get around to Valentine's Day and we start to think about love, we need to hang on to that thought. We need to hang on to that love thought because we need to be sharing it with our family all the time. And in this week, as we're, kind of getting ready for Valentine's Day, maybe you're preparing fun little snacks, or you have an activity or an evening planned for your kids, or maybe there's something special for you and your spouse. You need to also be praying for love and praying that God would cover you in his love and cover your family with that love as well. And we need to be praying that prayer all the time. That needs to be at the top of our prayer journals, at the top of our minds, at the top of our Bible studies, is praying that God would fill us with love. Because if we're going to be growing a home of love, if we're going to be growing a Christian home, if we're going to be sending our children and our spouses and ourselves out into the world, we need to be walking out in love, in God's love. Because it is love that allows us to be patient and humble and kind. It is love that allows us to forgive. It covers everything. Everything that we need to do comes out of that love. And whose love? Well, God's love. And that's why we need to be praying for it. Because we need to be asking him for that love, and that he would fill us until we're overflowing so that we can fill others. And so that then that love can translate into those other things. And again, I talked about this last week. If you didn't catch that episode, go back, listen to growing that little love seed in your home, or check out the blog post, because we know that growing love is what is going to allow us to produce those other fruits, the patience and the kindness and the goodness and the gentleness. It's all coming from God's love. And so as you are encouraging your family, encouraging your loved ones to show love this week, make sure that you are praying that prayer over yourself, praying it over them, and praying it over your home. Because if you are wanting to show that love, if you're wanting to share it, it needs to come from God. And if you're sending special treats to school with your kids, pray over those little treats that you're sending. Pray over the children. If they're, writing the names of their classmates, pray over each child as you are doing that. If, whatever little parties that you're doing and activities, pray over that and encourage your children to pray that love prayer as well, that they would seek love first, that they would seek God's love above everything else, above any other thing that they could possibly need. Bravery, if they're, feeling that they need some patience, if they're feeling they need kindness, that they seek love first, because that is the root of everything else that they are going to need. And love is going to bind everything together in perfect harmony. And so as you're heading into Valentine's Day this week and moving forward from that, as we continue on after Valentine's Day, continue to pray for love. Continue to seek God in everything that you are doing, because that is the foundation, and it should always be at the front of our prayer journals, at the front of our Bibles, at the front of our thoughts, is that love that He has given to us, and we need to continually seek that love and grow that little love seed that you've got in your home, so that you have those strong roots of faith, and your family is then able to grow, and to grow in the fruits of the Spirit, and to grow in everything that God wants them to be and to become, and to carry out into the world with them, and eventually into their own little families. And so I hope you have a really happy Valentine's Day, that you're able to love on your kids, love on your husband, share that love with your friends and your neighbors and your family members. Make sure that if you've got, the school, if you're sending your kids to school, public or Christian, or if you're homeschooling, whatever, make sure that you pray heavily over those schools at this time as well. Valentine's Day sometimes can be crazy. I know back in my teaching days, it was like this holiday that creeped up on us and the kids were chaotic. So just send that little prayer with your child as you send them out. And I really hope that you have a really lovely Valentine's Day, and that you find that love, you share that love, and you pray it over every person that you encounter over the next couple of days. Thanks for joining me today. Did you know that you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest at Little Bit of Lavender, which is the blog? If you haven't checked that out, you should head over there for more motherhood encouragement. I pray your coffee stays hot, your children stay calm, and you keep Jesus in your heart. Until next time, Mama, God bless.